With the previous video, I faced a lot of copy strikes, so much so that it took me twice as long to post it, and I almost stopped doing this entirely. So I won't be doing a lot of plot summaries anymore. Anyways, Season 3, Part 1 of Attack on Titans isn't actually half bad. When the season started, I felt the new direction of the plot to be annoying, especially after the last season. I'll start off by saying that the art style is slightly better, but the animation improved by leaps and bounds. Even if you played in slow motion, you can somewhat follow the transitions without finding it to be too funny. And there are a little less more of those still shots and camera motions, and there's actually some animation going on. So I can finally stop complaining about that. Now, about the plot direction. Now, plot direction can go wherever it wants, and there's bound to be someone out there who thinks that it progressed in a natural way, just because they can pull some cringy excuse to justify it. They can literally explore the moon or Aaron's butthole, and so long as it's justified, some people would accept it as natural. With this season, while I can't argue at the direction and I don't necessarily hate them exploring more of the inner world, I don't appreciate how they went about it, and the citizens can't push two brain cells together and they go along with whatever they are told. And it's just lazy and basic how some of these plot points are approached. Like how in a scene where they are interrogating this guy for answers, and even after they rip out his nails, he refuses to talk. And even after Levi had said this,
People who talk after one. If they don't, ripping off more won't make a difference.
the man remains resolute in keeping his mouth shut. And moments later, he overhears that his friend already told them everything, and all of a sudden, his willpower and resistance is thrown down the drain. And he confesses the one secret he had, which is another issue I have, but I'll talk about that later. And it turns out that his friend only said that because they had a knife to his throat. I mean, these are the people who can take getting their nails removed and not say a word, but a knife to the throat is where they draw the line. And his friend is surprised that the quote unquote conversation he had resulted in this. Like, didn't he piece anything together? Or how in another scene, the police are about to kill this guy for knowing too much than he should. But because the plot needs them to, they revealed their corruption to him, only to later find out that there were multiple witnesses in hiding. And this is the basic 2 plus 2 writing that's annoying me. While I was busy with my previous video, I realized that I can't judge anime as I would a movie or a TV show because they are both of a different level. But I shouldn't have to be catering. Writing is fundamentally the same, but the plot here has more screen time than it should. Anyways, moving on to the character. While the script still suffers to juggle the uncolorful heavy cast it has, it still tried to make us care or waste our time with side characters. And instead of trying to kill some off, the show would rather waste time killing random characters than the main cast. Had it been Gege who wrote this, half of these guys would have been dead already. But similar to Gege, the script treated Aaron like Yuji, making him extremely useless and allowing the other characters to shine and completely sidelining him. But at least Yuji is Sukana's vessel. Here, Eren is extremely useless and is literally getting carried. While I don't hate Krista or Historia much in this season, and I found the reveal of royal lineage to be not so shocking, I'm still not invested much in a character, or maybe that's just me. But a character I actually fell for was Kenny. Although he was also slightly influenced by the plot, but maybe it was his selfish goals or his struggles. But I fell for him. I honestly fell for him. Felt. Shit. Whereas I didn't care much for Yamir's tragic backstory, Kenny's was done better. So much better. Anyway, also, I hate Armin. I hate this nigga so much. His mere existence feels like an afterthought, tagging along cause the plot needs him to, and he basically has no substance or provides any to the goddamn plot. Anyway, another thing I had problems with was the show's execution. All the surprises, mysteries, subversions, and character development is okay on paper. And I repeat, on paper. It lacks any creativity behind it and it doesn't hit as much as the script needs it to. The explosion is there, but it lacks power. The structure is there, but it lacks just something. An example I can give you is that when writing a joke, typically what you do is you make a setup followed by the punchline. While there are many more elements like timing and pauses, the structure is like a universal basic rule. But even with that, some jokes just aren't funny at all. And don't tell me about comedy being subjective. And that's the feeling I get from the season of AOT. Some of the mysteries and drama come across as artificial as hell, like how in season 2, Pastor Nick is said to have some answers, but it's only one thing, and that's Krista or Historia. And then it's said that she has all the answers, but it turns out only to be nothing but a tragic backstory. And after they torture someone, only one thing, and that's who the royal family is. In each scene, this is treated like the be all end all, the thing that will answer all the questions and reveal the secrets of the walls, which still annoys me. I mean, they've already confirmed and speculated enough that the walls are made of titans. And don't even get me started on the absurd jumping to conclusion these characters make on an otherwise impossible argument. Like, if a cat is orange, it can fly, then that means Peter's around and feeling. Like, what? Peter's around and feeling, yes, but the argument you made for your conclusion is absurd. The pacing for this season isn't as absurd as it was in the previous 2 seasons. I don't hate it much, but it's still offbeat. The two narratives don't feel like one thing, moving to help each other, and in fact, they are so separate that while one narrative is told in nighttime, the other narrative has to wait an entire episode to catch up to it. I know some people might argue that how else are they supposed to tell it? And the answer is better. I shouldn't have to be out here pausing to think about anything and should just be immersed. Similar to the previous season, season 3 also has 12 episodes, but the time isn't wasted as much like the previous 2 seasons, and that's speaking much since they are still using previous episodes to fill up new episodes, and the action ends at episode 10. While I still enjoyed the last 2 episodes, I was constantly looking at the clock, waiting for it all to end. Overall, season 3 isn't half bad, and I could argue that it's the best season thus far. It still gets dragged by the huge and uncolorful cast, by the basic writing and shitty execution. I can honestly say that it ain't half bad and isn't a total waste of time. It's great for casual viewing and has some rewatchability down the line, and I can see it lasting a lot longer in people's minds. That would mean we'd have to rewatch season 1 and 2, and that's what might just hold it back. But for me, season 3 is a solid, no, it's a comfortable 6 out of 10. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Go, wait, do you think he trademarked that?